Shalom. I want to start up by saying Barak Atah Yahweh, Barak Atah Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, Kol Halo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Again, the name of the Father is Yahweh, and his Son's name is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. I'm just reading these headlines. Chemical attack provocation with U.S. participation planned in Syria. All right, they're being prepared for another false flag from the United States of America, which is not surprising at all. All right, and another, militants get R&R, rest and rehabilitation in U.S. guarded part of southern Syria. Lavrov, all right, this is all not surprising, all right, because the United States aids and funds terrorism. All right, this is another article. A massive weapons smuggling operation has been exposed, showing how large shipments of weapons are illegally shipped from Eastern European countries such as Bulgaria, Serbia, to Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Afghanistan. And other documents prove that it goes to Syria and Al Nusra and Al Qaeda. All right, I'm just going to show you part of these documents. You can read this. This is steamit.com, and you could look up this article yourself. All right, they fund terrorism via Silkway Airlines. All right, Middle Eastern reporter Dilyana Gatanzieva has broken the story of the smuggling operation that supplies a wide range of weapons to conflict areas such as Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, and the Congo. The weapons are shipped under the guise of diplomatic freight flights through an Azerbaijani air company called Silkway Airlines. All right, this is all funded by the United States of America. All right, at least 350 diplomatic Silkway Airlines, an Azerbaijani state-run company, flights transported weapons for war conflicts across the world over the last 3 years. The state aircrafts of Azerbaijan carried on board tens of tons of heavy weapons and ammunition headed to terrorists under the cover of diplomatic flights. Documents implicating Silkway Airlines in arms supplies were sent to me by anonymous Twitter account, Anonymous Bulgaria. All right, now this is the woman who exposed, the whole scam that the United States, Israel, and Saudi Arabia are doing, as well as other countries. All right, this is a terrorist compound, and she found the weapons and the shipments and where they come from. All right, it's all funded by the United States of America. Here's documents right here. If you see the red squares, it tells you transported up to 90 tons of military cargo from Bulgaria to Prince Sultan Air Base Ops, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Who's allies with Saudi Arabia? The United States is backed by Saudi oil. All right. It has not escaped their notice. The United States of America funds terrorism, as well as Israel and Saudi Arabia. All right, they're war criminals, which, by the way, they're illegally occupying Syria right now. All right, here again. All right, 90 tons of military cargo from Bulgaria to Prince Sultan Air Base Ops, Kingdom, Saudi Arabia. All right, when we get further through this, according to documents, Silkway Airlines offered diplomatic flights to private companies, arms manufacturers from the U.S., Balkans, and Israel, as well as the militaries of Saudi Arabia, UAE, U.S. Special Operations Command, U.S. SOCOM, and the military forces of Germany, Denmark, and Afghanistan, Sweden, and Iraq. Diplomatic flights are exempt of checks, air bills, and taxes, meaning that Silkway airplanes freely transported hundreds of tons of weapons to different locations around the world without regulation. They made technical landings with stays varying from a few hours to up to day in intermediary locations without any logical person, such as needing to refuel the planes. All right, which is no surprise why you hear, Putin or Lavrov or Syria's Bashar al-Assad, I believe his name's Assad, curse out the United States of America for funding, aiding terrorism. All right, they're not doing any humanitarian efforts. All right, they intentionally block humanitarian efforts and they help and aid terrorism. All right, here's more documents proving, and you guys can go through this. All right, $1 billion in non-U.S. standard weapons. Among the main customers of the diplomatic flights for weapons service provided by Silkway Airlines are American companies which supply weapons to the U.S. Army and U.S. Special Operations Command. The common element in these cases is that they all supply non-U.S. standard weapons. Hence, the weapons are not used by the U.S. forces. So they get foreign weapons and then bring them into war-torn areas such as Syria, Africa, and the Middle East. According to the Register of Federal Contracts over the last 3 years, American companies were awarded $1 billion contracts in total under a special U.S. government program for non-U.S. standard weapon supplies. All right. And here's more documentation proving that they do that. They even supply white phosphorus, which has become illegal now. Let me get through this. All right. More documentation. UN 0245 class ammunition. Smoke white phosphorus. All right. I don't know if that's United Nations, but even though the United Nations is bought out by the United States of America, but everyone's distancing themselves from the U.S. because they're getting so much exposure. A number of U.S. contractors are linked to the weapons smuggling operations. Was Silkway Airlines, Purple Shovel. All right, that was a company that just came out of nowhere and then got billions of dollars from the United States of America, and now Purple Shovel is in on the scam. All right, the United States of America is in on the scam of funding weapons to terrorists. Purple Shovel provides supply chain support and humanitarian assistance, orbital ATK, advanced weapon systems, and shimmering military products, weapon, ammunition, pyrotechnics. All right. So I'm just trying to give you a brief right here. Kingdom Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a major player as both a purchaser and exporter of enormous quantities of weapons in the region. However, the Saudis use only U.S. standard weapons, so substantial amounts of Saudi purchases are not meant for the kingdom's military. Rather, the arms are destined for terrorist organizations that support with Saudi interests. All right, the kingdom does not buy those weapons for itself, as the Saudi army uses only Western weapons, and the weapons are not compatible with its military standard. Therefore, the weapons transported on diplomatic flights end up in the hands of the terrorist militants in Syria and Yemen that Saudi Arabia officially admits supporting. All right, now this is the governments. These people rule countries. They have intelligence organizations. They know full well it's not an accident those weapons are going into the hands of terrorists. All right. Implications. This is a huge story that far surpasses the previously uncovered Libya, Qatar, Turkey, Syria rat lines reported on by Cy Hirsch. Could this be just the tip of the iceberg? How many other airlines, foreign ministers are involved in similar activities? Which means this is the only thing that was found out. So there's possibly several other scams just like this where the United States is funding terrorism. A few months ago, I speculated on the possibility of use of aviation, diplomatic, freight, and cargo companies as a way to smuggle weapons and also to provide a way to transport people for human trafficking rings. There may be many more companies, agencies, organizations using diplomatic immunity to cover for illegal illicit activities. Well, the point being, United States, America, Saudi Arabia are all involved on this scam to fund terrorism, create chaos in the region, so that way they could overthrow governments, take their resources. All right. There's no other explanation for it. All right. So again, as mentioned before, it says, "Woe to you that spoileth and was not spoiled. Woe to you that dealeth treacherously, and no one has dealt treacherously with thee." So now Isaiah the 10th chapter. "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And what will ye do in the day of visitation, and the desolation which shall come from far?" All right, it's reference nuclear destruction. "To whom will ye flee for help, and where will ye leave your glory? Without me they shall bow down under the prisoners." All right, and they shall fall under the slain. All right, the Heavenly Father has put the Illuminati in place, and He controls them. All right. The deceived and the deceiver is his, all right, according to the scriptures. All right, so are they not deceivers? Of course. It says, he also says, "Shall evil be done in the city, and I, the Lord, have not done it?" That's, of course, the answer is yes, Heavenly Father. All right. "Behold, I create darkness and the light. I create the good and the evil. I, the Lord, do all these things." Something of that nature. All right. Again, for all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still, which means he's bringing destruction. All right. So now, jump into Jeremiah 25th chapter. "For many nations great kings shall serve themselves of them also." He's talking about when he led kingdom of Judah, kingdom of Israel in the captivity. "And I will recompense them according to their deeds, according to the works of their own hands." All right. "For thus saith Yahweh, power of Israel, unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it." All right, and it's all nations. They shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Then took I the cup of Yahweh's hand and made all the nations to drink unto whom Yahweh had sent me. And that's all the nations. All right, to wit, Jerusalem, cities of Judah, which, they already drank the cup of that wrath. And if you read in Lamentations, the 4th chapter, you understand that he took the cup of wrath away from them and he's given it into the daughter of Edom, all the nations, to make them, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation, astonishment, and hissing and curse as it is this day. All right, here it is. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants, his princes, all his people, and all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines. All right, and Ashkelon, Azah, Ekron, the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, Moab, children of Ammon, and all the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Zidon, and the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, Dedan, Tema, and Buz, all that are in the utmost corners, and all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert, all the kings of Zimri, all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of the Medes. He's saying everybody. All the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world, which are upon the face of the earth. And the king of Shishak shall drink after them. All right, everyone's drinking the cup of his wrath. Therefore thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the power of Israel, Drink ye, and be drunken, and spew, and fall, and rise no more. Because the sword which I will send among you shall be as if they refused to take the cup at thine hand to drink. Then shalt thou say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, Ye shall certainly drink the cup of his wrath. All right, and it goes in Joel, the 3rd chapter, book of Revelations, Battle of Armageddon, which is happening right now, World War III. For lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name, and should ye be utterly unpunished, ye shall not be unpunished, for I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith Yahweh of hosts. Therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, Yahweh shall roar from on high, and utter his voice. From his holy habitation he shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that tread the grapes. Just like the episode of I Love Lucy. Seen that episode when I was a kid watching Nickelodeon. She was stomping the grapes. The metaphor is, much bloodshed against all the inhabitants of the earth. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for Yahweh hath the controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith Yahweh. All right, and again, the slain of the Lord shall be many. Again, this is we're living in the time in the book of Revelations right now. All these prophecies are coming to pass. This is World War III. War with Russia and the United States of America is imminent. The United States of America is getting too much exposure. Everyone's distancing themselves from the United States of America. There's other articles to prove that. And other than that, hey, there it is. Do your research on Silkway Airlines. It proves that the United States of America funds terrorism and hasn't escaped the knowledge of Putin, Assad, and all the nations. All right? So again, this is World War III. It's happening right now. With that, I'm going to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, Kol Halo Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, double honors, apostle, elders, great millstone, who are the holy apostles, prophets mentioned in the book of Revelation. And bless the Akim that push and were in true sincerity. In the name of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. All right? So, Shalom, Bahasham Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, Waha, Racha, Kudash, and Shalom.